Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to another video on Supergirl Season 3, Episode 10, and today we're going to be doing my review for the episode, so if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, so you don't miss any Supergirl videos. So I will have my trailer breakdown out later today, but we're going to be reviewing the episode and talking about my overall thoughts. We're going to be going through some plot and character and what to expect going into the future, and also we're going to be talking about comic book Easter eggs. So we're going to be going through this in no particular order, but first off I want to say overall this episode was a blast. I thought it was a very strong episode. I really enjoyed it. There was a load of stuff including the Reign and Legion of Superheroes storylines, and especially I really liked the Brainiac 5 and Kara stuff. I thought that was especially good. But we get the name drop of Winath, and this is a planet in the comics that is home to Lightning Lass and Lightning Lad, who are actually members of the Legion of Superheroes, and we get the name drop of Ayla. And in the comics there is a character called Ayla Rand, and that is Lightning Lass, and we know for certain that it is Lightning Lass in the TV show, that she exists due to Mon-El actually saying that Ayla is actually from Winath, so that's 100% Lightning Lass, so she's confirmed for the Arrowverse, and hopefully we get to see her because she's one of the coolest Legion of Superheroes comic book characters in the comics. And in the comics Mon-El actually seeds this planet, so Winath is a big Legion of Superheroes planet in the comics, and most of the times that Winath shows up is in the Legion of Superheroes, so hopefully we get to explore that sometime later this season or next season or some future season, because I really do want to see Lightning Lass and maybe Lightning Lad as well. But Mon-El and Imra explained that Winath went dark, and Ayla went and found out that it was completely dried out. It used to be a paradise, so that was a big shot. So Mon-El and Imra go on to reveal that the creatures who did this consume everything in their way, and they're calling them the Blade. So the Blade isn't a thing in the comics, so it's something that they made up for the TV show, so we'll have to wait and see as to what they are. But Brainiac 5 found a way how to stop them in the future, but by the time they were actually going to implement this plan, they couldn't do it because these creatures, the Blade, were already onto them, and that links into how they're actually in the past due to them running into one of those portals on the mission, and their mission was to take out these creatures, and I'm presuming that maybe the Blade have something to do with the portal and them going back in the past. Maybe that was part of their plan. We don't know if they're intelligent, but it seems like they are, considering they're already onto the Legion of Superheroes before the Legion could do anything. So it's also revealed going on from there that their DNA, that being Mon-El, Brainiac 5 and Imra, has the info inside of it to stop them. So in the future there is some sort of technology where they can integrate information into their DNA and hide it, obviously, and they need to make it back to the future, so they can't afford to die here and they can't afford to do massive things to change the timeline. But in the end we know that they go on to fight Reign, and they do make quite a bit of disturbance, so that's going to affect the timeline, I'm presuming, if they're going along with the Flash timeline rules. And so moving on to some more Mon-El stuff. So in the episode it's revealed that Mon-El knew about Cara'S fight with Reign. He knew that she was going to survive, and he knew that Reign was going to go away sometime in the future. That's why they weren't too bothered by the fact that she was going to fight Reign, because they know that she's going to survive. So the question is, how much do they actually know? Considering that they only revealed a small amount of detail, we could presume that they know a lot more about what's going to happen to Supergirl. So in the episode near the end, like I said earlier, Mon-El and Imra actually team up along with Brainiac 5, and he does some really cool things in this episode. He's probably one of my favorite of the episode, and we got to see him in Mon-El's ship, and we saw that it has the capability of doing a Millennium Falcon type thing. That's what it kind of reminded me of. If you go back and watch Star Wars, you can see in the cockpit when they're shooting, that seemed to be the influence as to Brainiac 5's chair and him actually firing, because it seemed very similar to that. But we get to see the Legion flight rings in use for the first time in this episode, and before they fly it turns red, so that's just a really nice design addition that they used after with CGI. But Supergirl versus Reign, once Supergirl returns in the episode, she fights Reign and she sticks a syringe into Reign's bloodstream with kryptonite, and it severely damages her, and so Reign retreats and she goes back to the Fortress of Sanctuary, which somehow hasn't been found out by now, which is weird. But moving on from that plot hole, it's revealed that there are more world killers by one of Reign's makers, and Reign wasn't aware of this. So Thomas Coville, at the end, it was revealed in the post-credit scene that Thomas is going to be helping, so I think he might help, but also I think there's going to be a twist to that. I think he's going to be there to gather the information, get the knowledge about Krypton and Rao. But we'll have to wait and see until the next few episodes to find out who these world killers are. Most of us think that Julia, the new character, is going to be a world killer, but I I talked about that in another video, so you can go back and look for my Rain World Killer theory. It was great fighting with you again. So Mon-El and Supergirl, I loved their scene together, their brief scene at the end, and also we had that SuperValor scene at the end of the Rain fight where they're both on the screen, and it's an imitation of one of the scenes in season 2 when they're actually standing next to each other in their superhero personas, but obviously Mon-El's just becoming a superhero. But now we've got the full-on SuperValor scene because they are both heroes. And that scene had such majestic, silent music, and it was just woven in so well. So they're back to being on normal standards rather than hating each other or having a grudge against each other. So they're back on track. Probably one of my favourite parts of the episodes was Shawn pretending to be Kara to cover for Kara, whilst Lena Luthor goes round to Kara's house and tries to talk to her about her relationship problems with James, because everything was kind of awkward in the earlier scenes, and this scene was just hilarious. I loved Shawn talking about this, and then when Shawn came out after and told Alex and Win about the problems that he just had to go through, it was just great. A great performance by Melissa Benoist in that scene. She portrayed Shawn in such a great way. But in the Rain fight scene with the Legion of Superheroes, Brainiac 5 started playing one of Bon Jovi's songs, and I was singing, so I really love it when they incorporate these really famous musical pieces, considering that it played such a big part in the Legion of Superheroes history, Bon Jovi, because Mon-El introduced the Legion to a lot of history and, you know, the big things in the past, so he obviously introduced them to a lot of musicians and singers. So it was also revealed that sometime in the future, before the 31st century, the world goes through a tragedy, and it's practically like the extinction of history, and history is forgotten, and basically the people in the future don't have all the knowledge that, say, people in present day do due to that event. So there's something bad in the future, and my question is, will we actually get to see the Legion of Superheroes in the future fighting on Winath and defeating the Blade? Because that is one of the most interesting things this whole season of all of DC TV, probably the most interesting in my opinion, and I just really want to see them actually on a different planet or fighting in the future or doing something like that, because it's really intriguing. I want to see Lightning Lass. Hopefully they can do that in one of the last episodes of this season. Considering we got a long way to go, I'm hoping for a lot more Legion of Superheroes stuff, incorporating some other characters apart from just our main three, which were especially good in this episode. They were the standouts. So in the episode, Brainiac 5 goes to help Kara inside her mind, and Brainiac 5 was so good. Jesse Rath did an amazing job. I'm really loving him. So if we look past his appearance, it wasn't too bad in the episode, to be fair. It looked better in action than in the stills and the promotional photos and everything like that, and the trailers. So I'm very happy that they actually went along with this, and Brainiac 5 is probably one of the best additions. I loved his awkwardness, his goofiness, it just worked so well, especially linking into Kara's goofiness. So at the end of the episode, they are good friends, because we saw that they finally met in real life for the first time, and obviously Brainiac 5 faked his height, that he was taller in Kara's mind to try and depict himself in a different way so that Kara could actually trust him. But the comedy surrounding him was absolutely brilliant, so I absolutely loved him in this episode. So finally I wanted to talk about Alex and Kara. So the funny ending, that was great when they were talking about Shawn and Lena. Just seeing the Danvers sisters together is always a great thing, and I just thoroughly enjoy these endings. But anyway guys, so that's basically it. So overall this episode was a very strong episode, one of my favourite of the season. So if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
It doesn't make us strong, it doesn't make us weak. Tongue tied to service like Shawn.